Ladies and gentlemen, this episode of Reactions Line is once again brought to you by themusicnerd.com. Come on, guys, if you haven't been there, go and check it out. It's a shameless plug for what I like to do outside of my regular work. You know the usual deal. It's exactly what it is. Reactions Line will be starting shortly in not too much time. One slight push, go live on all of the things. Have to put, you know what, I'm just making sure that everything's coming in and that we're working. We'll be going live shortly, thanks to themusicnerd.com, with our wonderful show called Reactions Line. See you shortly. Well, when you try and do these things and things don't quite work as they usually do, that's exactly what's happened. We're going back to an old school camera. I'd love to get the new one going, but, been busy doing other things. For those of you who know what I do for a day job, it is very different to what I do. Well, not really. It's similar to what I do here. However, it's absolutely hilarious. I recorded some things tonight that I wanted to get done. And as you can see, the quality is not quite as nice as it was last time. And hopefully with the changes that I have just made, it does mean that I can then... No, close. Oh, I can. Okay, fantastic. And I actually switch over to hopefully what is a slightly nicer looking camera without the issues of the other one flicking and carrying on. This is live. This is raw. This is what happens here when we do Reactions Line. Let's just light things a little bit differently. And in 3, 2, 1, we will change. Have a look at the motion at the moment. I'm nerding out first. This is what 30 frames a second on a cheapy webcam looks like. And hopefully, if I can light myself just a little bit better, and I switch over to the other cam, ooh, this is what 60 frames a second looks like. As you can see, it's a lot smoother motion. I thought I'd have a little discussion tonight about the current state of media, because media, as we know, has changed absolutely dramatically from where it was just in the past as I move the camera out of the way. So I thought tonight, let's have a talk about the current state of media. Could have at least tidied that up and made that nice and centered. Neither there. Basically, if we look at media as it is today, we consume media predominantly through this form, if you're of my generation, this form being Facebook. Not necessarily video, but sometimes video, sometimes not, but in particular, Facebook. And I thought it was absolutely fascinating to look back through the history of media, as I have done from time to time over the years, and what inspired me to start this show was, I guess, the third revision 3, if you will, which was an online internet streaming company doing live video. Actually, no, I don't think they did much live video. They mainly did pre-recorded content, and you could basically watch it like a television show, as it were, but online. So we talked about the original form of media, which was, print press and all that stuff. Then we had the radio and television era, and the third revision as we move into online. And I think we're really on, the next steps forward as we move into social media and some of the interesting things that happen on that. And I would love to talk to some of you out there about that tonight. If you'd like to call in, that number 0280021759. That's 0280021759. Going to pull things back to this style of production for a little while. We've gone out, we've done some crazy things over the last few weeks, and we have had a week off. So we're back on top of it, hopefully, even though my research is still not done. If you'd like to, have a look in the link as well, and you can see that there's a Hangouts that you can hopefully join, and you would have thought that I would have tested that, but I have not. So it's all up in the air if that will actually work in the end. But I guess where I wanted to talk about tonight, and I said the current state of media, that is just off center. I'm going to have to fix that. You're getting the full OHCPD. What is it? No, HCPD. The obsessive compulsive personality disorder. Let me just move that thing to be a little bit better. Oh, that's much better. What I wanted to talk about tonight, once I get my mind on track, is where social media is today in the current state of media. Social media is, as it says, media. And in particular, I wanted to see what your experience was with things like Facebook, and things like, well, that's pretty much where we're all watching at the moment, right? Wanted to understand what your feelings were on being marketed to, and all the media that you consume is specifically targeted towards you. And I think that's really something that's fascinating. I'd love to speak to anyone out there who has any feelings on that at all. And I knew Thomas would jump straight in here. Wow, finally catching up with all the things. First time that Claire Harvey is home from a meeting with no coherent input. Thank you, Claire, for joining. I have no coherent input tonight as a result of my brain being slightly whacked out from all these things. Thomas, as I said, has jumped in and said the current media is clearly in shambles. Where are we with current things of media? So a whole heap of people have joined in. And you know what? I've done absolutely no research, as per usual. Hence why I'm leveraging you out there to kind of give me your feedback on what you feel the current state of media is. If we look at newspaper print and print media is slowly dying. Television media, again, for I guess the generation that I'm in, isn't something we consume a lot of. As I said, most of our media is from targeted media like social media, a la YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. And we're even seeing, as we've touched on a few times now, the huge, expansive media that is esports as opposed to sports. If someone would like to talk about advertising, please do join in and have that part of the conversation. But as per usual, back to the original state of reactions line. I have no idea, no research whatsoever, just some fierce opinions. But I'd love to hear your opinions. Call in now. It's a local number for those of you in Sydney, and most of us have unlimited plans. That number is 02 8002 1759. Now, just to make sure, because I've only just kind of plugged it all back in. Let's double check that number. Grab your phone from your hand right now. 02 8002 1759. You can also leave your comments in the descriptions just down below. So let's see if anyone else has put some stuff in there. They have. Oh, good. That's all working. Okay, let's see how this goes. Testing. Yay. It's nice when it all works and I can actually hear myself. If you've ever tried this experiment, and if you've got access to it, get a microphone, put a delay in, put headphones on, and you'll see if you scramble your voice, because the delay that I'm hearing back here is really unnerving. And hopefully I've pushed through that. But yes, you can call. That number is live. 02 8002 1759. What's your feel on media and the current state of it? Because it's just absolutely crazy. I mean, if we look at the household that I'm in, we don't really watch TV. Actually, we don't watch TV. Our news is delivered to us, again, through things like Facebook and friends' recommendations. Some other things that have been born out of this is the concept of astroturfing. So if we look at what social media is, it's, for example, this stream is me being able to broadcast to you, and we do this, through chat, and we do this through other mediums as well. If I post something on my wall and say, hey, have a look at this. This is what is going on in the place. And if you read an article online, there is a good chance that it's written by someone who knows what's going on. But there's also a good chance, and this is the scary part about astroturfing, where it's written by someone, a fake person, to make you think and sway your opinion on a situation. I guess the other side of things is astroturfing is basically like the opposite of grassroots media. So if I'm writing this, if I'm speaking this is actually me. There's no script, there is no teleprompter, there is no plan to this. This is my own, I guess, if we take a Hack 5 term, my own technolust, using this technology to broadcast to you, as opposed to something that's very manufactured to look as if it's a one-to-one broadcast. So that's a thing that kind of scares the crap out of me. We do have some comments online as well. Trinity Malpress has basically said, on a broadcast TV front, he hasn't used over-the-air broadcasts for 14 years. That's just incredible. It's a long time to be unplugged from the system. Many Matrix references to come, I'm sure. Thomas Dang, social media for the most part complements traditional media. Most traditional media have social media presences to get their own content out to the masses, getting a further reach than they normally would. And we're definitely seeing that. A comment was made the other day around my office that traditional media is dying. The concept of, a one-to-many broadcast is kind of, I guess, losing it. And I guess if we look at what we're doing here tonight, the fact that I can read these comments right now and rebroadcast them, it's very interactive. In fact, it's so interactive, you can call that number right on the screen there, 02 8002 1759. Come on, please. I had to at least throw it out there. But the concept is that we can be more interactive than what we would be had it been just a television broadcast. If you haven't got anything to do after this, I implore you to go over to Twitch and have a look at Corduroy Sam's. I'll post a link to that one shortly. He is doing a live stream tonight from 10 p.m. Where he'll be, I think he's doing a Switch stream. Sam's, if you are watching, let me know what you're actually broadcasting tonight. Here's an interesting one. Thomas has also jumped in, and being the media mogul that he is, or involved in the media as he is, the NBA have teamed up with Twitter to live stream a handful of games, probably using Twitter's own platform, Periscope, which if you haven't seen Periscope, I really should get on there because I want to test all the platforms, because that's what this is all. This is me just feeling what the tech does. So there you go. NBA are live streaming via Twitter, which is very interesting. I'd like to hear your thoughts, though. Where do you think media is at the moment? Where do you think it's going in the future? And I'm curious to see what your thoughts are. That number you can call in or just message. I don't mind. I'm happy to read it out on air. I should take a breath at some point, because trust me, I can speak with a mouthful of marbles underwater. But realistically, I want to hear what you have to say about this topic. So that number again, 02 8002 1759. Oh, no. Okay, here we go. Thomas has come back saying they're not using Periscope. They're streaming their broadcast via Twitter. There you go. So Twitter are the owners of Periscope. Maybe that they're using the same platform, but it is obviously broadcasting via Twitter, which I think is absolutely fascinating. I mean, I hope to see more of this engaging content from a broadcaster to a viewer base, if you will, where it is very personalized and it isn't so much, this, again, manufactured thing to appeal to a whole heap of people. The niche markets. If you look at how podcasts have kind of come about, being the recording of radio shows effectively, which again is more traditional media. It's that more broadcast style of thing and radio show. They are a wonderful thing where me as a niche listener, I can listen to the tech things that I want to listen to. I can listen to the maker movement, which I'm deeply fascinated by, hence what you see behind me and in front of me. Actually, you know what? Because we are speaking of media and all the crazy things that are involved, maybe I give you a little bit of a, demo of what we have here, because it doesn't really make sense until you see the technology switched off. So to give you some idea, there's a camera in front of me. There's a whole stack of lights, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights around me. And the best part about this is, if I go back to this shot, so usually in this shot, you will see the things behind me. This is just for curiosity's sake. Usually you'll see this background behind me. It's not a real background. It's actually all fake because it's a green screen. So if I go in here and change a couple of things, this is what I'm actually sitting in front of. So there's no real backdrop to the whole thing. It's all completely and utterly fake. But with the movie magic, if you will, we are able to make it look like a much bigger show than what it is. These are the kind of things that that I like to really get involved in. But realistically, all you have to do is call that number there, 02 8002 1759, or throw some comments in the stream right below. Sorry, being 10 to 10 of a Tuesday night, it is quite difficult to remember all the things that I have to talk about. Coming on from here, yep, Trinity, love the key, so you get to see what that's about. I can see Kate Scantleton has just joined. Now, Kate is in the media game. I'd love to hear what you have to say about the media and where it is currently. To catch you up to the things that we have just talked about very briefly, we're talking about the traditional media being print media. We then moved into broadcast media, so your radio broadcasts, television broadcasts, and we're now in the, third or fourth revision of media, and that being the interactive media as we are seeing here. So I can see that you've joined, for instance, Kate, and it's a very different media to what it is before. The other things we just touched on before as well is the difference between grassroots social media. So, for example, this is completely grassroots. It's my love of technology that's allowed me to broadcast this show. There is no agenda. It's just me having a bit of fun with technology and trying to be a bit of a subject matter expert on a whole heap of things. Not that I really am, but that's neither here nor there. But there's also the idea of astroturfing, where those out there with nefarious means, and not so nefarious means, create fake people or influence people to go out and buy their product or change their point of view on things from fake personalized media. And then social media, obviously, with all the algorithms that Facebook have in play that allow them to target exactly what you like to see, when you like to see it, and the amazing metrics that they can grab from that and sell off, which is fantastic business model. Speaking of, if you can't call in, there's a number 02 8002 1759. It is almost very late. You can also type your comments in the description just down below. You can also join by clicking on the Google Hangouts video link. Unsure if the audio is all working, but it's one of those things. Dan Wiggins has just commented, the idea of news in the media coming as an opposition to power is now dead. The internet has taken over the front due to the inability to supply funding for influence over its content. No one seeks to be spoon-fed anymore because everyone now has a ticket to the infinite buffet. And I think that's really if you see, again, it's echoing what I'm saying about social media, is it's still spoon-feeding you. Like, it is spoon-feeding you exactly what you want. I remember there was a show some time ago where there was this fruit. It might have been Sliders. Oh, that's taking me back. There was this fruit, and whatever you wanted it to taste like, you could bite into it and taste pizza. You could bite into it and have the texture and flavors of any fruit, any flavor that you can imagine. If you thought it tasted horrible, you could taste it and it would taste horrible. It's a wonderful fruit. If you actually know what that's from, please help my memory out. I think it was a Sliders episode from 1990 something or other. But the whole concept is that through the algorithms that what we like and what we look at on Facebook, they're able to exactly tailor what we see so that we keep engaged with that news feed. There you go. There's another rant out of the way. If you'd like to join in the conversation, I have tested the phone lines. 02 8002 1759. Click on the link down below in Google Chrome to join us via Hangouts as well if you want to have your video on the screen. I'm sure I've got that tested, but, maybe not because reasons. Let me see. Tally. 2 box. Nope. Of course, I haven't got it converted. Is it set up? Frame per second. 60. Technology. For those of you who don't know, I've got a wonderful setup here where I can, if you join in on that video link, you'll see and hear me. You'll see and hear the whole thing, and I'll be able to put you up on the screen, which is just absolutely wonderful. Now, which camera is that? It's the right camera. Fantastic. Ta-da. Excellent. Let me see if anyone else has made some comments. Christos, hello, sir. Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for joining. Traditional news shows have to give money away to get viewers. If you look at, the contests that are out there, where they're doing Cash Cow, for example, on Channel 7 in the morning on Sunrise, there is this whole, they need to engage their target audience, which is scary. It's very disappointing. Thanks for that, Christos. Thomas Dang, media, as you said before, started off with print, then radio, television, the internet, and now social. It's become wildly fragmented. Back in the day, you'd get your news from a single trusted source. These days, there are a lot more sources. The problem with the current state of media is that there's a lot of noise. You have to wade through a lot of it to get the truth. Hence why you've got a lot of fake news. Traditional media still serves a purpose as a trusted source. There you go. In Australia, I think you're hitting the really nose on the head. Traditional media has to have their sources correct. They have to do all their correct media work as they do to make sure that it's actually real. It's a shame that you see little fluff pieces on the news that try and engage the viewership a little bit more. And my concern is that, well, actually not my concern. We're in Australia. We're totally fine. However, if you look at places like, Fox News in the States, they have a a completely different agenda to what we have here in Australia. And I hope that we never lose that here in Australia, is that trusted media source. Thomas Dane continues, but what social media allows for these days is the little guys to be their own content creators, such as yourself. Thomas, thank you so much. I'm not sure if I'm so much of a content creator, as a content masher, as a content annoying person online who just continues to speak crap into a camera and play with technology. But I do appreciate the fact that I am effectively a content creator. Yes, you can like me on Patreon and give away money to me if you'd like to. You don't have to. I'm just doing this for fun anyway. But Geez, that was a long breath. Go over to that thing, 02-8002-1759. Give me a call. Have a chat. We're going to wrap up the stream shortly because if you haven't caught it before, Corduroy Sam J. Bellwood will be streaming on Twitch after this. Oh, yeah, I need to get his thing up. Again, there's no there's no one here to help me produce. This is all as it goes live. Let me get his thing up. Where is he? I cannot, it's the one problem with having a slight sense of dyslexia, is not being able to remember how to spell corduroy. I know that seems a bit crazy, but that's the way it is. Any more comments coming in? You know what, Thomas? We might have to do a part 2 on this. Thomas has also just jumped in saying, you should have got me over to talk about this. You know what? Let's come and do a part 2 on the current state of media because I feel I'm just starting to scratch the surface. If that's something you'd like to hear about, flick a link down below. Have a look on all the social medias and all the rest of it. I'm going to find Corduroy Sam's, though, because he has a wonderful show, hopefully coming up tonight. How do I go to his channel? Da-da! So if you want to go and check him out tonight, that is not how you spell it. He will be streaming after this show tonight. I think he's doing Switch. I'm going to have a chat to him in a minute. And we will go from there. So if you are curious, post that in there. I am seeing that Alan Manifold has just joined. I'm so sorry. We are just wrapping up. Unless you want to have a quick chat about it. There's a lot of stuff we've talked about in a very, very brief moment in time. This is part 1 of 2 or 3 or more. It's a multi-part on the current state of media. But I hopefully have wet the whistle of what effectively is my take on media, and I'd love to hear yours. Just simply click on the thing below, type your thing in, have a little bit of a speak about it, or call in 02-8002-1759. You know what? I'm sure people are going to be joining this stream at some point as a drinking game. You obviously have the drinking game where you put a Santa's hat on the corner of a television screen, and when someone goes and lines up with it, you take a shot. This game is quite simple. You have to count how many times and take a shot. Every single time I say, call in now, that's that number. And then when I say the number, you take a shot. For example, 02-8002-1759 would be 1 shot. I've probably said it about 8 times. I think if you've been watching for the very short period we've been streaming, about 20 minutes, you would be pretty well on your way to having a very good night. I think that I can wrap it up there. I don't think anyone else really wants to have anything else to say. No callers tonight. Totally fine with that. It's totally fine. If you'd like to support me, please do check out the Patreon. I'd love to hear your comments on what you think we should be really talking about on this channel, because without you, the viewers, influencing what we say here on the show, you're not going to be as engaged, and it's just going to be a show like tonight where I just talk into a camera. But then again, that wasn't planned, so So please send in your requests for what we talk about next week, which will be Tuesday, the 23rd of May. You can email that in at reactionsline@gmail.com. I probably should check that email more than I do. Let's just see if I've missed anything important, because you know what? I probably have. There was May 8th. That was last week. That's interesting. Have to see who that, you know what? We're going to risk it for the biscuit. Let's turn on a couple of things here so you'll be able to hear what I hear. And let's have a listen to the voicemail that's sitting in the thing. Here we go. Nothing? That's a real shame. No voicemail. Really? No voicemail after all that? Oh, what a shame. Yep. Absolutely no voicemail. So you can actually email us in at reactionsline@gmail.com. That email is right there. Go and have a look on there. Send us in what you would like to talk about. Go through and check everything else. Some spam. Oh, I can read some spam. Actually, hang on a second. Spam is fascinating. If you've ever seen that video of the guy talking about how he likes to engage with people who are scammers, wonderful video. I really should link it, but I can't remember what it was because my brain's not that good. So let's read out any spam. Did I get any spam? Let's have a look. Spam time. There's a whole heap of Twitter stuff. That's targeted advertising. Promos. No. Come on, surely there's some... Oh, we have a... No, that's not spam either. I have absolutely no spam in the reactions line email inbox. Maybe mine has some. Let's have a look, shall we? Do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do-do. Okay, spam. Oh, 683. Oh, let's pick one. Come on, there's got to be something interesting here. No, they're all just targeted advertising. That's really sad. I was hoping for... No. It's a whole heap of... what is it? Search engine optimization stuff? SEO stuff? Oh. New viral toy hit the stores today. Get yours. From the global leaders for... Oh, God. Hang on. How can I need to show you this. I can't believe that I have been targeted advertised this. OBS. That is incredible. Hang on. Let me find... There it is. Okay, let me put this into the right size so that you can actually see what I see. Can you see what I see? Can you see what I see? Let me move myself into the right position. And hit fade. Oh my God, I'm getting scam emails about the Enjoy fidget spinner. Fidget spinner? Spinner fidget. Hang on. Try spinner roulette. Oh dear Lord. It's a quasi gambling device. Can you believe it? Oh my Lord. So yeah, that's probably the best that my spam filter is picking up at the moment. Hopefully something... I was hoping for something from a Nigerian prince, which would have been a lot more interesting to actually read out here, on here. No. Sorry, Thomas. That's the best that I've got. I can see Amy Crust has joined in. Hang on. What's Dan put?
Let's suppose that you're writing a really important...
Okay, let's stop the ads because reasons. Let's see if I can actually make this all happen. So if I move this over here, it's Creative Commons, right? For me to show another video and make a commentary about it. If you haven't seen this video... I'll put myself in the right position. Turn annotations off. Come here. This is quite difficult to do, apparently. If you haven't seen this video, I implore you go over, click on the ads, make them feel the love from this particular thing, and hopefully you'll hear it. It's actually a TED Talk if you've ever seen it. It's wonderful. I'll shut up and let the video play because it's 10 minutes? No, I'm just going to... Look, go and watch it at your own time. Trust me, it's absolutely awesome. Definitely recommend. In fact, I will repost that link just to make sure that it's there. Yep, if I comment over it, it's Creative Commons, which I was going to do. Amy Crust. You have some good things to say? You have some great things all over your... Oh, wrong thing. You have some media stuff all over the thing. Anyway, sorry, getting completely distracted by all the things that's going on. I'll post that in all the links. So if you do want to go and watch that video, I, again, highly recommend it about all the scam email that comes in. I think we have kind of wrapped it up. I've talked enough crap. We haven't had any calls tonight, but that's okay. I wasn't prepared for that anyway. If you'd like to comment for next week's session, which will be Tuesday, the 23rd of May at about 9 p.m. Look, 9 p.m. is a kind of quasi-firm start. You can leave a message on the voicemail box on 02-8002-1759, or you can email your topics in at reactionsline@gmail.com. I'd love to get, as soon as you can get me over a topic, and as soon as we can get that happening, I will be posting about it. That gives me enough time to actually do some prep work ahead of the show, unlike tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you listen to my absolute crap tonight. Don't forget, you can call that number, leave a voicemail for your topic for next week, email some stuff through. I'd love to have a more interactive conversation like we have on all the other weeks. And it has been absolutely wonderful spieling about the current state of media. We will have Thomas Dang on this show. Maybe next week we do a second part with an actual media expert. Well, strategic analyst of media. That'll be next week. We'll do a part 2 with, I guess, a bit more information. It's been lovely having you. We will close the phone lines as we do every single week.
Feature code.
There it goes. And we will see you next week. Remember that you can join us next week on, when is the next one? 11th of April? Oh, again, this is all live. I need to change all this stuff, right? It will be Tuesday, the 23rd of May. That's why I'm completely not prepared. Oh, whole heap of mad stuff coming in. People sending a whole heap of... That was weird. What was that emoji? Bizarre. Anyway, we will see you next week. Join us then for the Current State of Media Part 2 on Tuesday, the 23rd of May, 2017 at 9 p.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time, GMT plus 10. See you next week. Ciao for now. Bye. Extra content. So if you actually have continued to join around, let's see how many people left. Only a couple of people left, which is fascinating. If you haven't actually clicked on the notification to see next time I'm live, you can go to my page. You can go to my personal page as well and see when I am live. But the cool part that I wanted to show you is I have a bit of a toy from work, which I'm doing some work with, which is why I was actually late starting tonight. It's called an NTi Talk Box. And this wonderful little device is basically you clip it onto a microphone stand, and it is a calibrated speaker that sounds exactly like the human voice. So it allows us to test audio systems and make sure that microphones and reinforcement systems sound right. It's a fascinating device. And the reason I've got it at home is because the default voice samples are, shall we say, a little bit boring. So let's skip the test.
Meine sehr verehrten Damen und Herren,
As you can hear, it sounds like a real person.
unsere Techniker, die Audioanlage präzise.
This one's a little bit too bassy. It doesn't sound like a real human voice.
Ladies and gentlemen, this voice is a test signal to enable our engineers to adjust the audio system. Thank you for your patience.
And I've done one.
Ladies and gentlemen, this voice is a test signal to allow our engineers to adjust the audio system. We thank you for your patience. In order to ensure that our engineers can focus on the audio quality and not the words being spoken.
Sounds like me. Sounds exactly like me. It's the same. That's the beautiful part about it, which is really quite scary if both of us are speaking at the same time. And that's just really quite scary. Actually, I also want to see if I'm the same level as that one.
It is a long-established fact that a reader will be
louder or
distracted by
softer,
the
but
readable
the
content
tone
of
I
the
know is
page
exactly
when
the same
looking at its
because
layout.
I also added Ellen.
Ladies and gentlemen, this voice is a test signal to allow our engineers to adjust the audio system. Thank
so
you
I
for
also
your
want to see
patience.
if Elle's the same
In
level
order
as
to
me,
ensure that our
because that's
engineers
something
can
that I also
focus
want to
on
make
the
sure.
audio
So we can
quality,
get everyone's different tones, and it's a very, very cool
we will.
box. That special weird alien sound. It's tests for speech intelligibility. This is a really cool box. So there you go. Those of you who stayed around a little bit longer, you get a special treat. This is called the NTi Talk Box. What a cool little product. Anyway, thanks again. See you next week. Ciao.